General, the Secretary General of the Operating Room Global Nigeria Chapter. This is the first Monday in the month of September, and as usual, every Monday we do our presentation. And today is another day, and our speaker, our guest tonight is Mr. Samuel Oluwole. Before Mr. Samuel Oluwole comes in, I would like to give citation about Mr. Samuel Oluwole. So, but before that, I pray that as we start this meeting, the Lord bless us wherever we are in the name of Jesus. So, Mr. Samuel Oluwole is a registered perioperative nurse, public health specialist, an entrepreneur, an educator, and founder of Increased Global Healthcare, IGH, and Sojimol, Nigeria, registered with Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria, with the passion of providing accessibility to quality healthcare service in sub-Saharan Africa in the areas of healthcare consultancy, research and training, quality and risk control in healthcare management, and easy access to medical and surgical device and consumables both locally and internationally. He specializes in advanced perioperative nursing care with special interest in cardiac, both congenital and structural defects, and thoracic surgery for more than a decade, with experience in both cardiac and thoracic keyhole surgeries, such as mini mitral and VAT. He was the lead pioneer perioperative nurse and very instrumental in building and starting the open heart surgery, both adult and pediatrics, and the following Nigeria tertiary care facilities: Babcock University Teaching Hospital, Afe Babalola Multi-Specialist Teaching Hospital, and Redington Multi-Specialist Hospital before relocating to United Kingdom in 2021. His long-term interest in the preventive public health care, and not only in the curative surgical or medical care, especially in epidemiology of non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular disease, kidney failure, diabetes mellitus, and cancer, led him to pursue his Master of Public Health in Epidemiology from Babcock University, Nigeria, which he paused on relocation and continued presently in Masters of Global Public Health, GMPH, at Imperial College in London. He holds a certificate in leadership and management in health from the University of Washington, USA, United States of America, and certificate in patient safety from Institute of Health Improvement, IHI, United States of America. He is presently a senior specialist nurse practitioner, SNP, cardiothoracic surgery, and assistant lead health and safety at Regional Essex Cardiothoracic Center, United Kingdom, and first international nurse to be employed as a senior nurse on resumption after PIN registration with Nursing and Midwifery Council in United Kingdom. He is also an active member of Royal College of Nursing, London, and Society of Critical Care Medicine, SCCM, USA, United States of America. Wow, this is massive. So we are privileged and glad to welcome our guest and speaker tonight, Mr. Samuel Oluwole. So, Mr. Samuel Oluwole, over to you, sir.
That's beautiful.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for the privilege to be on this platform tonight. And kudos to the...
I think your voice is low a bit.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah.
Maybe it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want
you
to
can hear
use
you.
this medium to appreciate the founder of the TORG and my very dear sister. I say kudos to you for keeping the vision alive. And I remember how the journey started, but
Yeah.
we are still on the move. to the glory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great milestone. Kudos to you for that.
We bless God.
To
Thank you.
the Executive Council of the TORG, and very particularly Mr. Additional, yeah, for your consistency and all of that. Because of our time tonight, I think I will just quickly go ahead with our topic, and so that we can save some time, because I think the topic is a big one on my part, but I'll try and do some little justice I can do from here. I also want to quickly make create an indulgence that it might be a bit of a discussion method in terms of some of the things that I like to do when I do some presentation at times. So we just start from there. Quality assurance in the equity room. I would like to, I wouldn't know if I would just try to share the screen so that we can go together. So let me just, I'll keep the screen there so that we can have, we can go together with the, yeah. So what is quality assurance in the operating room? From the topic, when we look at it, like I said, it's quite a big topic, but we see what we can do to it. The terminologies there, what is quality? Quality assurance, quality control, quality improvement. These are some of the things we normally see. When we see things around quality, we see which one is assurance, which one is control, which one is improvement, and all of that. And it's already, when we look at it, the other thing there, operating room, we are all, that's our own kingdom, which I believe every one of us belongs to, irrespective of our professional background, whether surgeon, the nurses, anesthetists, the orderlies, the technician, and the rest. So quickly, what is quality? When we say what is quality, one of the things that comes to mind is that when we mention the word quality, many things people will ask, people will look around that, what do you mean? What is the person talking about, and all of that. For example, when we look at quality, when we say there is a car, when we say what's the quality of a car, a motor car, one of the things that we want to look at is that, oh, if that car can perform the basic function for which it is being made, the car can take somebody from one spot to the another spot without giving any problem and getting the person to the other side safely. That's a bit of quality in one sense. But for the sake of this presentation, we just look at what is quality. The common topical definition we're going to consider is that the degree to which an object or entity, which may be process, product, or a service, satisfies a specified set of attributes or requirements. The requirement that we believe that, oh, this service should give. The requirement that we believe that a product should give, a process should give. That is the quality of that service, of that product. On the other side, when we look for the technical purpose of this presentation, according to the American Society of Quality, ASQ, we look at this definition. One is that the characteristics of a product or a service that bear on its ability to satisfy the stated or implied needs. That is one definition. The other one is a product or a service free of deficiency. I want us to take note of this second definition, a product or a service free of deficiency. That's but for the sake of this presentation, our working definition will be conformance to requirements. Conformance to requirements. The service that we are rendering, the product we're talking about, is it conforming to the stated requirements? Is it conforming to the standard already laid down? Is it conforming to some set of guidelines? That's the definition we're going to look at for the sake of. So as we move on, what is quality of care, which is actually what is related to us, which is the main thing we do, whether a surgeon, anesthetist, or a nurse, or a perfusionist, or a technician, or a technologist, or orderly in the operating room. What is the quality of the care we are giving? That is one of the things that we also look at. According to WHO, the quality of care is the degree to which the health service for individuals and population increase the likelihood of their desired health outcomes. How does the care that has been rendered is going to increase the likelihood of the desired health outcome? As somebody has come to the hospital and the person is having a particular disease and the person is seeking for medical care, how is the medical care being given to the person going to increase the likelihood of the outcomes that the patient expects? That is from WHO, the quality of care that is being given. And what are the indicators that we look at when we talk about quality? That's why I put the KPIs, key performance indicators. What are the indicators when we look at that quality of care according to WHO? Some of the indicators that we need to look at, the basic indicators is the care given effective? How effective is that care given? Is it evidence-based? Is it the best practice care that the patient can have at that point in time? Or is it substandard? That is one indicator to look at. The second indicator to look at is the care safe. Is the care safe? That means, is it void of harm to the patient, to the client that is receiving the care? Number three is that, is it the patient-centered kind of care? Is it individualized kind of care based on the patient needs and the values? Those are the parameters, basic parameters to look at the quality of care that's been given to a patient. Now back to the main topic, quality assurance. When we look at quality assurance quickly, the assurance, quality assurance, quality control, improvement, there are all kinds of terms that we always say, not only in the healthcare industry, with all of that are related to the quality. For the quality assurance, what does it mean? The planned and systematic activities implemented within the quality system that can be demonstrated to provide what? Confidence. That's the main key word there, confidence, that a product or a service will fulfill requirements of quality. When you can give a confidence that this particular product will fulfill the requirements, that care is of a good quality. That is quality assurance. What is quality control on the other side? The operational techniques and the activities used to fulfill that requirement for quality. That is quality control. They look interchangeably, but one is like a means to the end. One is a means, the other one is the end. Like the quality control is being used to achieve the quality assurance. The last one that we normally say is quality improvement. It is that continual and the systematic approach of framework to improve outcomes or process. For example, what can we do to improve the care we give? In outpatient, surgical outpatients, what are the quality improvements? A patient is coming back as a post-op patient. What are the what is the kind of activities that is being put in place that we want to achieve over time? That okay, this care will be improved. Reducing the waiting list for the patient to receive a surgery. Those are the kind of the examples we can look at when we talk about the quality improvement. All those activities are the things that constitute quality improvement. Quality improvement in the OR, why? Because that's the main purpose of this kind of presentation. Why do we need quality assurance in the operating room? After all, this is not a chocolate in the shopping mall that when we pick it, or is it expired already? Can I still eat it? Or something I can put down? Or a particular kind of product, maybe we just pick it up and say, oh, is it of good quality or not? Why? What are the real reasons for the quality assurance in the operating room? Number one, which is the main reason, is the patient safety. This summarizes everything. Patient safety. If the care the patient will receive, no matter how good, no matter how effective it is, it should end in safety for the patient. The patient has come to the hospital, has come for a particular problem, looking forward to the medical personnel to do one thing or the other. That kind of care Is it going to be a safe one? The patient has come for surgery. Is the surgery going to be a safe one for the patient? So that is the main purpose, patient safety. Number two, patient satisfaction. Is the patient satisfied with the kind of care that has been given? A patient has come for a repair of hernia. After the repair of hernia, the patient has gone back home. Is the patient happy with that kind of care? Or when we get that side of the plastic surgery, is the patient happy with the kind of surgery he or she has received in the hospital? The number three there is practice efficiency. How efficient is our practice as operating room practitioners? Whether surgeon, anesthetists, and the rest, and nurses, and the rest, and all of that. What is the efficiency of our practice? How good it is? That's another reason. The fourth reason is the legal related issues. We are already in the legal revolution, especially in the healthcare, that we receive a lot of queries, a lot of complaints every day from patients, from relatives, especially in the country where I practice presently. Is one of the baits that most of the patient relatives want to use to get into receiving a lot of funds from the NHS, because they just want to pick a loophole from the surgeon, from the nurses, from the anesthetists, even from the nurse and the outpatients, just to receive something. That's another reason why we need to consider quality assurance. Number five, care improvements. Is it the same care we've been practicing in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years? Is there any improvement in the care? Is it the same way we be operating doing a particular kind of surgical operation? Is it the same way? Any room for improvements? That's another reason why we need to consider quality. For business development is another reason. We are getting to the time where the hospital system, healthcare industry, they are becoming more profit-oriented in one way or the other. It is true in one way because they need money to run the system. But in the course of even looking for money to run the system, they also want to consider the kind of quality of care that their employee are giving to the clients and the patients. That's another reason in the aspect of business development. The seventh one is for research and training, which is one of the things that is important for our professional development as operating room practitioners. So coming to that topic again, whose responsibility is quality in the OR? Who should be held accountable for quality? That, you should look after quality of what we do. The guess is that everybody working in the operating room is expected to be a quality officer for that particular unit or wherever we find ourselves. Every registered professional, including the surgeon, anesthetists, nurses, technician, and the rest. Even though in each hospital, in each facility, there are designated quality officer. The quality officer, they may carry different nomenclatures like clinical governance lead, safety lead, infection control leads. It depends on the local hospital policy of what they are being assigned to do. But the other main person that the responsibility rests on his shoulder is the theater manager of any operating room, to actually look at the quality of the operations of all that they do in that particular unit. That's very, very important when we look at whose responsibility is quality assurance. Now, again, quality assurance and risk management in operating room. What is risk management? When you talk about risk, a lot of things come to mind that, do we want to prefer risk, or what do we want to do about risk? Is a very important component of clinical governance when we look at the framework. And what does it do? Is to do major three things: to prevent, to identify, and where possible, to control any potential or actual adverse outcomes. A patient is coming for surgery. How can we prevent any potential adverse outcome of that surgery? What are the risks we can identify? How can we control it? So risk management is particularly important for the perioperative environment because each patient is exposed to a number of risks, from anesthesia to the surgical aspect, even to the nursing aspect, even to the time that the patient is coming back for post-op assessment. So that's the aspect of the risk management when we look at the quality assurance. Now, quickly, like I said, a bit of like a discussion, a quick brainstorming scenarios. Having 2 cardiac arrests on anesthetic induction in a course of 7 days. Just in a week in a particular operating room. I want us to look at some of the points to consider when we look at these scenarios. Number one, different teams, not the same surgery. Different anesthetists, not the same anesthetists, but the same theater units, which may comprise maybe 4, 6, 10 theater suites. Any concern for quality assurance when we look at this kind of situation? To cardiac arrest just on anesthetic induction in just 7 days, in just a week. And you have to just get there, make sure that all things, these 2 cases, from the account of these 2 cases, the surgery could not go on again. What do we think really happened? Should we just overlook this kind of scenarios, or we should look at it that, oh, maybe it's a particular team, or is the a surgeon, the anesthetics, or something? But from the scenarios, there are different anesthetics, different teams, but the same units. Should the manager of that unit keep quiet and just say that, oh, it's just one of those cases? I believe our guests will be one of the things in my mind. But let's continue. We still talk about that. Quality assurance system in operating room. Quality assurance system will establish the effect of departmental procedure on the overall surgical patient process. The standard for ensuring a safe environment and the maintenance of the records and documentations. What are the 5 principles of the quality assurance according to the Care Quality Commission, CQC? The 5 things to consider, which look like the 3 KPIs of the WHO. Number 1 is safety. Is environment, is operating room safe for the surgery? For example, free of infection risk. Number 2, effective. Any action in making the case, in making the surgery the best to receive for the patient. Number 3, is it caring enough? Is it the kind of caring practice? Are all staff compassionate about the care they are giving? Number 4, is it a well-led kind of care? Is there a clear direction or purpose provided for the whole team? The surgeon, the anesthetist, everybody, are they all happy? Are they on the same page for what they want to do? Number 5 is it responsive? Are the complaints well received, acted upon in timely and effective way? If at all there is a concern that is being raised, if or there is a feedback received from patients or the relative. These are some of the things to consider when we look at the CQC principles, when we talk about the quality assurance in operating room. Because of time, like I said, what are I just want to go straight to some of those measures. What are those measures we can put in place to ensure quality assurance in operating room? What are those measures that we can put in place? One of the first major measures is benchmarking. Why do we use, it looks like a big term, but it's not really a big term. Benchmarking, according to the AFPP, Association for Therapeutic Practice, defined it as a standard or point of reference. That's what I just want us to know. It's just a standard. What is the standard that we have on ground for this procedure we are doing? Whether it is anesthetic procedure or surgical procedure, as long as it's within the therapeutic environment, what is the point of reference? What is the standard on ground? And that is why AFPP audit to provide a benchmark for auditing the standard of patient care provided in the therapeutic setting. There are quite a number of the things line up for that. Another measure is clinical audits. Which kind of audits? Our clinical audits assessing the care we provide over time, whether it is daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. For example, the manager, particularly of any theater unit, is expected to do a kind of daily or weekly auditing. It may not be a full auditing, but to know what is going on, the progress of the operating room, that, okay, this week, how many incident reports has been received? How many near misses, never events that we've received? What are those things that happen? We still get to a bit of it here under the brief and debriefing. So, and also monthly, do we have a clinical audit system in place monthly? Quarterly, how do we handle that? Yearly, all of these clinical audits tools, they will help us in really looking at the the quality of the care we render. The third one there is briefing and debriefing. I believe from some of our background and from where some of us are practicing, early morning briefing before starting any surgery, or whether even in the course of the day, whether we have added case or emergency case, there'll still be a kind of briefing, even if it's a short briefing, even if it cannot be done in designated place, whether it's going to be done in the anesthetic room or somewhere. Every team member needs to know what is expected to be done for a patient, so that everybody will be on the same page. A surgeon is saying something, the nurse, the scrub nurse understand what he's saying, the anesthetist understand what is missing, what is not missing, so everybody will be on the same page. The briefing after the surgery, one of the things, like in my own unit, is that what has gone better, what has been done well, what is the room for improvement, any critical incidents for the day, any duty of candor that the patient or relatives need to know about after the procedure. These are some of the qualities, these are some of the measures that can be put in place to ensure quality assurance. MDT meeting. This is a multidisciplinary team meeting that is always been done, most usually in surgical areas before patient will come for surgery, particularly in critical care, maybe cases like cardiac, neurosurgery, orthopedic, and even cancer patients. The consultants, the nurses, the head nurses, the pharmacists, and all other team members, they are involved. What is the best option that the patient needs to receive? A patient has come for a new surgery, knee replacement surgery. What is the best procedure that that patient is expected to have? The kind of the implant that the patient is expected to have. A patient is coming for surgery, a cardiac surgery. Is a patient interested in having a mechanical valve or having a tissue valve? What's the reason of choosing that kind of valve for the patient? What's the reason of choosing that kind of plate for orthopedic surgery? These are some of the things that will determine the quality of the care that the patient is going to receive. In this kind of meeting, it is not one man's agenda or one man's planning. The whole team has come together to decide. It may not be the same local policies that will serve the purpose of the surgical procedure or anesthetic procedure that is expected. For example, what is the local policy for intubation in a particular operating room? That kind of policy should be updated from time to time, should be an operational one, so that everybody will know what is expected. If they have any anesthetists coming into that facility, is that anesthetist already be already aware of that kind of policy? Is it what is being used to over the time? Those are the things that will guarantee the quality of the kind of the care that will be given in the operating room. In continuation, what are the guidelines and recommendations that are already in place to guarantee quality? We have a lot of them, whether it is national. The reason why I didn't put many of them is that we have different practices all over the world, depending on our area of practice. National recommendations and guidelines, international quality care recommendations. For example, Department of Health and Social Care in the United Kingdom, they have about 9 compliance criteria that is expected to be followed in any operating room as far as the United Kingdom is concerned, which is expected that anything short of that will be compromising the care that the patient is receiving. Another thing is that SOPs is one of the things that a lot of us we've heard about, we are used to. I think it was maybe one of the presentation I joined recently. I think maybe it's from Prof that also mentioned SOP. What are the SOPs we have in place for different procedures, for different cases that we do? I heard somebody say on the lighter mood at the time, he said like a checklist or SOP is for the idiot. But that is very something strange. That's not true. It is something that is expected of every facility to follow, that even when somebody who is just being newly inducted into a department can easily see what is already been operational to be used, so that we be able to give the quality care that is expected. Checklist. Our common example, which I believe is operational in almost every operating room, is WHO surgical checklist. When we do the checklist, is it something we still do? Do we do it appropriately? Is every member of the team present in doing it? What is the responses? Do we raise concerns before knife on skin? When we do the signing, when we do the timeout, when we do the sign out, what are the concerns we have? That's on the surgical checklist, WHO surgical checklist. We have some other checklists we can use, even individually in our practice. For example, in perfusionists in cardiac surgery, they have a checklist of what is expected to be on ground before they go on pump. These are some of the things that will guarantee the quality of the care the patient will receive in the course of the surgery. Clinical monitoring practice, that's another measure in place. For example, medicine storage monitoring booklets, the kind of the medicine, the drugs, medications in the operating room pharmacy. How do we monitor the expiry dates, the storage system to ensure that we're giving the right drug, the right concentration? For example, we have a lot of medication that they come in different concentration, the likes of fentanyl, particularly in the anesthesia, the likes of the midazolam and all of that. How do we do all of that? When we look at some of those, there are practices that's expected that we can't just overlook, so that we'll be able to ensure that, oh, the patient is receiving the right medication is given, the right drug is being used in the course of the surgery. What about the transfusion booklets? Are we giving the right blood products in the course of the surgery? Oh, everything, the OR can be chaotic at times. Oh, somebody is orthopedic surgery or cardiac surgery. The surgeon the anesthetist or the perfusionist just require blood. Somebody goes to the blood bank to get the product. How do we ensure that all has been well checked before that product is being given to the patient? Another measure is practice education program. Most of our facilities nowadays have clinical practice education units that will, from time to time, periodically give a kind of teaching and education on best practice that is expected for the patients. Not just that, okay, this is what I know, but what is expected? What is the best practice internationally? And all of that, we also help the person to know that, okay, this is each professional that, okay, this care I'm giving is the right care. Whether we do that kind of educational program, maybe it's weekly or monthly or quarterly. What is important is that there should be in place a practice education program that will help us to check the kind of the care, to check the kind of our skill, for skill improvements, what we are giving to the patient. Another thing is the patient surface. This give opportunity of feedback from the patient or the relatives. The patient has been discharged. This patient has come for checkup post-operatively, and the patient, this is a kind of survey, a kind of feedback booklet given to the patient, and the patient is giving a feedback that, oh, before I went for the surgery, this is what I experienced. It's a very good care. In the operating room, the surgeon, the anesthetics, the nurses, they are very nice people. They are kind. They are very good professionals. All of that. Do we have that kind of feedback, or is there a room for improvement, or the patient is not satisfied with the kind of the care that has been given? Another thing to also look at is clinical governance aspects. Clinical governance is one of the things that it may carry different terminology in our different countries, but presently in the United Kingdom is one of the things that not only in the surgery, even on the ward, is one of the things they consider, just to guarantee that the quality of care being given to the patient is what is expected. That in that clinical governance, they look at data, look at the documentations, look at the incident reports, look at the duty of candor issues, look at all of that, check the WHO checklist, look at the debriefing and the briefing, all the things that have been mentioned in the course of the surgery. How are all of that cumulates in giving quality care to the patient? So all of these are the things that, when you look at it, they guarantee that, okay, the care that has been given to the patient is of quality. what are the enablers? What are the things that can help in the quality assurance in the operating room? Because of our time, I'm looking at the time. One of the first things there is the good clinical leadership. How good is the leadership of our operating room? And not only about the theater manager now, from the theater users, from the surgeon, from the manager and the management member, the anesthetist, the nurses, the ODPs or whatever, or the depends on the terminology that is being called, what kind of leadership that is being provided. If the leadership is a good one, it is expected that they will be able to look at the aspects of quality. Communication is one another important thing. How do we streamline the communication from one place to the other in the channeling the communication? The surgeon is aware of something, the anesthetist is not aware, the nurses are not aware. How do we guarantee the quality? After briefing in the morning, another development has taken place when the fellow goes to the ward to check on the patient. Is everybody aware of the latest about that patient? That's very important about the effective communication. The continued clinical education program, like we've said, is very important, whether it's monthly, quarterly. Effective records and documentation. Our records and documentation should be very good, should be accurate at every point in time. Clear and legible, as always been said at times, so that we'll be able to look at the outcomes of all that has taken place in the course of 3 months when we do the charts of all the cases that, oh, what happened to this patient? What happened to this patient? 2 patients having the same name, some of them having the same birthday. How hope we are having the right patients and all of that. Another thing is effective team building. As we know, the operating room is a place where there is no, our king in the operating room is the patient. In that kingdom, the patient is the king. We have the surgeon, the anesthetists, the nurses, the every other team member. But how's the team? Is it an happy team? Or is it the team that they go their different ways? These are the things we need to consider, because everything we accumulate on the care that we give to the patients at the end of the day. Effective quality control activities. What are the activities in place? Like some of the things we've mentioned. These are the things that will enable the quality assurance that we talk about. Is there a system of safety at every point in time in that operating room? Another thing is that, is there a culture of blame for every error or mistakes? Do we shift blame that, oh, it is the anesthetist's fault. Oh, it is the nurse's fault. Oh, that surgeon caught what is supposed not to cut. How do we undo all of those errors and mistakes? It is true there is still limits to what each professional we do. But how do we undo error or mistakes that happen in a particular procedure when we have a challenge? That will also determine the quality assurance. If it's a system where the blame is always being shifted, people will not be true to their action. They will not be true to their activities. And that will affect the quality of the care the patient will receive. Another thing is health, safety, and welfare of the staff. This welfare of the staff is another important thing. If we are going to talk about giving quality care, if they will receive quality care, they will also need to be happy. And also their welfare needs to also be looked after. Incentive, encouragement for exceptional practice in our operating room. Effective appraisal system. When we look at all of this, is there a way we appraise our system at the end of all the surgery, at the end of the year, quarterly, and all of that? And what are the barriers? The barriers are just majorly the opposites of some of these enablers we've mentioned because of time. And another key thing, that major barrier that we look around all over the world, except which I might be wrong, in some facilities, shortage of staff in different form, that, okay, this is the reason why this one is itching on quality of the care. But no matter what, we should still consider the quality of the care we give to the patient within the space of the limited staff we have. In conclusion, quality assurance in its overall activities is mainly to ensure and guarantee the patient safety as defined by the WHO as the prevention of error and adverse effects to patients associated with healthcare, so that the care that the patient will receive will be the one that will be void of harm to the patient. I think here I will be taking a bow. But before I take a bow, I just put a kind of catalog at the back that health quality organization and association bodies that we might look at, that they have a lot of things. When we heard about those names, they talk about quality in one way or the other. WHO has its own quality guidelines, CQC, ASQ, AHRQ, JCI, KUSASA, SQHN, and a lot of them. These are some of the AFP, RCS, AORN. There are some of the bodies that are talking a lot about quality and the safety of care that we give to the patients. So I would like to say here, thank you so much for your audience because of our time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. Well done, well done, well done. Thank you very much, sir. This teaching tonight is enriching, is enlightening. Sincerely, I must appreciate you. I really gained a lot. Thank you very much, sir. Please, I would like us in a minute to thank our speaker, our guest speaker tonight, for the brilliant presentation. Just in a minute.
Thank you very much, sir. It is a privilege to listen and hear
Thank
from
you very much, Mr. Samuel.
Wonderful
Although we
presentation.
had a short time working together while you were still interested, I am grateful for the knowledge you have shared with us.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Samuel. It was brilliant. It was insightful and loaded. Definitely, we are bringing you back. We are bringing you back.